Okay, so this is a test of this remote microphone. I don't know how it's going to do, so let's just try it and see if it works okay and I'm not making a mess of anything. So let's just crack on and do a couple of these potato buckets that I'm trying to prepare for when I eventually get around to planting the seed potatoes. Seem to have some growth in here. It's just, I think it's bird seed that I put down that's got somehow mixed in with it. Right, what am I looking for? Small spade. So I'm taking out the top layer, which is just manure from last year that's been sat on the top of last year's potato compost that I grow in buckets like this. And the whole purpose of this layer is to protect the compost underneath over winter. These have been sat outside until recently. So I've virtually reached the end of the manure, protected manure, and that's going to eventually go into the bottom of this bucket. So the next task with this, after rescuing a couple of worms, is to tip the remaining old compost into this other barrel. Plenty of worm activity in here, so we know the vitality of the soil is still pretty good, and that's because I did this exact same thing the year previous with the same soil. And what it is putting the manure on the top and then incorporating into the bottom. It keeps the fertility in the soil, and this is blood, fish and bone, and all I'm doing is put, I think it's 100 ml this of blood, fish and bone into this compost. I'll give it a mix in. Try not to chop the worms in half. They're our friends. Yeah, it's lovely stuff. So it basically means I don't have to buy compost for my potatoes every year. Otherwise it'd just not be worth growing potatoes. Potatoes are pretty low value crop. I know they taste wonderful when you've grown them yourself, and that's the main attraction. But I'm a 75-year-old pensioner. I don't want to have to spend some of that pension on compost. So I've mixed that in now. It's pretty good. Looks good. You can't see the blood, fish and bone anymore, which is indicative of the fact that it's mixed in. And as I said, I'm just waffling because I'm testing this new microphone. It's a remote microphone. You get a plug-in bit that goes on the bottom of my iPhone, and I'm wearing this little thing here, and it connects wirelessly to the phone. And I'll only be able to tell later if it's worked or not. So excuse me if I'm talking quietly, and I hope the noise of my shovel on the spade is not drowning it out. Spade on the barrow, I meant to say. Okay, so that's the layer of old manure in the bottom, and that's what's going to keep the fertility in this compost. The bloodfish and bone adds some fertiliser to it, but I do feed the potatoes during the year with my own homemade liquid feed. Now it's time to put some compost back in on top, and once that's done, potatoes buckets are ready for planting, but it's a little bit early for me yet. I won't be doing that for about another, I don't know, about 10 days or so. Bit of extraneous matter there. Always on the lookout for bits of plastic and stuff. I do see eggshells a lot, but I'm not bothered about that. That goes from my green waste from home, scraps from home. And it's good calcium for the soil. Pretty much it. I'm only doing a couple a day, because that's another bit of plastic here. So I always keep a carrier bag hung up for little bits of plastic and stuff like that, paper and stuff that needs chipping away. And then every few weeks, once it's full, I take it home and put it in the bin. One down, another to go. Oh, these are quite heavy. Right, and start again. Same process. See, this was manure that was delivered back end of last year into our silo on the allotment site, and you can see it's not fully broken down, but it has broken down partially. So that's all good, keeping this fertility up. My plot name has just arrived. Got some huge sycamores just behind us, and they're always dropping their helicopters down, and seeds germinate everywhere. There's even one in here right now. Here it is. I'll just take that out and throw it in my weed bin. It's another thing I keep around. I also have a bin handy to throw weeds and stuff. I've got one in the greenhouse, and I've got one in the polytunnel, and I've also got one in the brassica cage. And it's just so handy to throw your weeds into. Keeps them off the paths, and eventually they just get thrown into the compost as and when I feel as though it needs emptying. And here we have another seedling. quite a bit of extraneous matter. I'm not sure what it is, but it's not organic, so it's going in my bag, my rubbish bag. Okay, it's quite a lot in manure to compost in this one, but hey ho. That break up. Got my potatoes chitting at home in my conservatory. I put them in the garage last year, and they, even though I had got them at the same time, by the time I planted them, they hadn't chitted as well as I thought they should. So I kept them in the conservatory, and they're chitting really well now this year compared to last year. So, some bloodfish and bone, just about a scoopful. I've actually bought a new pack of bloodfish and bone that I found in Aldi yesterday. Don't know what I've done with it. I'll see if I can find it. I'm a silly old dog, it was right there. Yeah, bloodfish and bone from Aldi. I think it was about £3.50 for 1.5 kilos, so that's okay. Also brought up some seeds, and I'm just going to go through them later to check if I've missed sowing anything. They also had in Aldi these nasturtium seeds and spring onions. Now, I'm always planting spring onions, and sometimes they do well, sometimes they don't, so I thought I'll have some fresh seeds. And these are quite big packets, and I think they contain quite a lot of seeds, so I'll be looking at those later. Right, let's crack on. I'm not sure I'll put this online or not, but I might condense it so it makes a bit of sense. The whole purpose of my vlog is really for me to keep tabs on what I'm doing, because at my age it's a lot easier to forget stuff. So if I've got it right there as a record, I can look back the date I'm doing stuff, see what I've done, what works, what doesn't, and keep tabs on things that way. More seedlings. I don't mind the seedlings too much because they're so easy to pull out, those sycamore seedlings. so they never survive. When I first took this plot, the beds were covered in them, and it was a bit of a job to pull them out, but I did get them all out. But they were grown to about, well, over a foot long in the ground. But if you keep tabs on it season by season and pull them out as and when you see them, it's really not a problem. Right. Right, I'm sure, sorry if this is really loud on with the banging and crashing, but it needs must for this job. There we have it. 2 buckets. Today's exercise done. I'm not sure you can see this line of buckets, so I'll just twist this around a bit. And now this line of buckets is all prepared for the potatoes. I've just got 4 more to do next couple of days. And then what I'll do is I'm going to get my big D-handled dibber, and I'll dib 2 holes in each one and just sit the seed potatoes in it, and then just gently cover them up. And I'll go down about halfway with the dibber, so they'll go down that deep. And fingers crossed they come up fine. Now I've got, right behind the camera, I've got a rolled up piece of fleece. So if we do get a late frost and they're actually showing the faces before the frost finishes, I can quickly cover them up. It's not a problem. Kept inside the polytunnel. And then once the risk of frost is over, these will go outside on the outside of this polytunnel against this side over here. Okay, I think I'm done with that.